Greetings, Bat family, and welcome back to Holy BatCast, brought to you by real fans for real movies. You can find us all over the internet on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for Holy BatCast. If you're a big fan of the show and you would like to support us, you can do so on Patreon. No pressure, but a big thank you to our patrons. You guys are awesome. If you're interested in that, you can go to patreon.com/holybatcast. We are part of the Real Fans Podcast Network. You can check out those shows at rf4rm.com. And as always, I'm your bat host, Andy DiGenova. You can find me on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and Letterboxd. It's just my name, Andy DiGenova. And this episode, we got fun things to talk about because last weekend, and by last weekend, I mean a day ago, was San Diego Comic-Con 2026. And Comic-Con week is always a big week for trailers and news and discussions and all kinds of fun stuff. So we're going to catch up on the Batman DC corner of that Comic-Con. And joining me for that, I got a special guest. You know him from this show. You know him from The Fire Rises. Let's welcome back Mr. Joe Fornarotto. Hey, Joe.
Andy, thank you for having me back. What's going on?
You know, busy weekend with Comic-Con. Still kind of exhausted, but it was worth it. It was great.
Oh, I'm sure. And I got to reap all the benefits and not have to go. I mean, we pretty much got the same experience for the most part.
I mean, maybe more or less, but no, it was good. And yeah, it was fun. I hadn't been back in 8 years.
Oh, it's been that long? Wow. I was going to actually ask you, and I wasn't sure it's been that long though.
Yeah, my last time was 2018 because I remember they showed us like our first real footage from Aquaman. So that's, easy to place. And then, then I went out of the country and then I went to Florida. So it's my first time back in California where I could go to Comic-Con.
Wow.
So good times. And how much did you follow along? I mean, obviously there was stuff I sent you, but I didn't know how much attention you were paying this weekend.
So, I mean, admittedly, not as much as we used to. And I don't want to sound like that's a gripe on the content. It's more just, life getting busier and things getting in the way. And honestly, it's not the same as it was, in the anticipation of the original DCU with BVS and, like you said, Aquaman. I remember that when you guys got that Aquaman footage, that was crazy because I don't think we got that trailer right away. And even when we got the trailer, you guys got much more than we got when we got the trailer.
Yeah, we got like the whole chase in Italy, that whole sequence. We got like a big chunk of that, and then there were snippets of that in the trailer. But yeah, we got much more of it then. Yeah. But this year WB didn't have a panel, so they took a different approach. Is they had singular panels for different projects, but they didn't have the big WB all-in panel on Saturday the way they did when I used to camp out. So yeah, it just felt different. And I think that when they did do that is when we expected much more. Here, they gave us cool stuff, but like no earth-shattering announcements, no huge news, just some new trailers again, panels. So we got conversations and sound bites, but it's not like they announced something earth-shattering.
Yeah, the only one that really is surprising is that they didn't do a Clayface panel. That's really the only thing that was missing because we got.
They did.
Oh, they did.
They did on Thursday.
So then, other than doing the one big, like you said, concise panel, they just split it up a little bit. So we got panels for everything that we would have normally, other than anything that's coming way in the future, which I'm kind of okay with. Like, just give us what you have. Like, they could have done something and brought, crazy, really fresh footage from Man of Tomorrow, which is probably what they would have done in the past. But I mean, I'm all right waiting on that. Listen, I would have taken it, and I probably would have been focused more on my phone if that was the case. But I'm assuming that they have figured out that, yes, it creates buzz for the weekend, but in the long run, it might be too far out to where it's not worth them spending the money to do that. So it is what it is. And they're probably in the middle of filming.
Well, they are in the middle of filming. That's, I think, the excuse they used is they said, we're so busy filming Man of Tomorrow, we're not coming. So James Gunn didn't come. They're still in, I think it's Georgia, unless they're overseas now. I have no idea. But yeah, it's like, we're still filming Man of Tomorrow, so we're not coming to Comic-Con. So that's why they did do the individual panels. And again, I get it. It just lacked a certain amount of like, oh my God, because it was split up and it was all stuff we already knew about. And so we didn't have like first footage of Man of Tomorrow. That would have been a cool thing, or, an announcement of something coming next that we weren't aware of, like they did way back when they announced BVS. So yeah, it was still a great Comic-Con, and I certainly enjoyed all the DC stuff that we got, but it just, yeah, it felt a little more tempered this year. And I do wonder if it's just because they're not ready to share anything else. And so the best way to go about it was to just go, okay, well, we got plenty to talk about with Clayface. We just released a new trailer, so we'll do that. Obviously, we want to build the hype for Lanterns because we're only a few weeks away from that. And then some animated stuff, things like that. So yeah, it felt a little restrained, but the stuff that we got was still very cool.
I wonder if like I admittedly just screwed up that they did even have a Clayface panel. I assume they didn't, and that's why we got the trailer. I wonder if it would have benefited them to just have both of those panels back to back in one big thing like they would have done in the past, or if this was better because we got what we got anyway. I don't know. I don't know if that would have brought more, like you said, that, that big excitement from one big panel and they could have just maybe, I don't know, dropped some official images from Man of Tomorrow just to at least throw it out there.
Yeah.
But I get that, and especially since Man of Tomorrow comes out next year, so we're not going to get a Comic-Con panel for it because it comes out probably the weekend prior.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because selfishly, I don't mind this because had they lumped it all together and done it on Saturday, then I would have felt the pressure to do whatever I had to do to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And because they split it up, I didn't have that. I didn't go down till Friday morning. So Thursday, the Clayface panel, I completely missed it. But hey, we had already seen the trailer. I saw again some snippets of some of the Q&A and them talking about it. It was just the lead, whose name, God, I can never remember. I'm terrible. The heck was his name? Tom Reese-Harris. Yeah, I cannot remember that.
Paid attention to what his
name is. Anyway, it was Tom Reese-Harris who's playing Matt Hagen, the director James Watkins, and then Jim Lee, which is fun. So yeah, they did that on Thursday, but they had already released the trailer a couple days prior. But I wasn't even there yet, so for me, there was no temptation. But I was a little bummed because I was like, oh, so it would have been cool to be there. And then they did the Lanterns panel on Friday. That was my goal, was to get down there in time to get into the Lanterns panel. We knew they were going to release the trailer regardless, and they did. But what's funny is I got down there, we got our credentials, we got in line for the Lanterns panel. We met up with Sean Gerber, who was on the last episode. Me, Catherine, and Sean waited in line to try to get into Lanterns, and we just missed it by probably maybe 200 people, something like that. We were relatively close to getting in. Had we gotten there maybe an hour prior, we probably would have gotten in. But it wasn't meant to be. It's okay. That panel is in its entirety online, so you can watch it. Mm-hmm. I haven't watched the whole thing. I've just seen highlights because I haven't had time. But at least, hey, now you can watch it. The trailer's already out, so that was good. And then I did get into the Knightfall panel on Saturday morning. So got to see that, and then they did show the latest trailer for Knightfall, which came out again just a few days prior to Comic-Con, which was good timing because on the last episode, me and Sean talked about hey, we got a trailer for this Knightfall trilogy, but we don't have a release date. And then they dropped this new shorter trailer for part 1 that's only about a minute and a half, but then it's part 1 released digitally on August 25th. So it's coming our way in less than a month now. But in that panel, we got to hear from the creative team, and they did show multiple clips. So I do feel like that's maybe what they should have done with Clayface and Lanterns is yes, have the panel, have the conversation, love that. But, maybe a little bonus clip for the people who got to go in, even if it wasn't me. It's always nice to get that something extra.
No, I completely agree with that. And I think what's weird to me is that with Clayface, so with Lanterns, I knew there was a panel because we knew the trailer was dropping with the panel.
Yes.
With Clayface, they dropped the trailer 2 days prior, which is
right.
A little odd, which kind of lacks the buildup of the panel. Therefore, I didn't even know there was a panel because I'm why would they drop a trailer 2 days prior to the panel? That just didn't, I guess it just didn't register with me that way. But I still got the trailer. I'm still excited about the movie. It does the same thing in the grand scheme of things, but it does lack that same oomph that Comic-Con does usually bring when it's done this way.
Yeah, if they were going to release it the same. I don't know if maybe they just wanted some space between the Clayface trailer
That's
and the
got to be
Lanterns
why.
trailer.
Yeah,
That's all
that's
I
the
can
only
think
reason I
of.
can think of. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to get to those trailers, but we want to talk about, let's back it up and talk about a couple other Comic-Con related things first. So part of the fun of Comic-Con, and like I said, it was my first time back in 8 years. We were only there Friday and Saturday. So me and Catherine said that it was like our dipping our toe back into Comic-Con. We didn't go all in. We didn't get down there for preview night and stay through Sunday, partly because of kids, partly because of work. But it was a nice little like easing back into Comic-Con, and it took a lot of that pressure off where we're like, hey, we'll see what we can see, but we'll still have fun. But a big part of that is walking the show floor. The show floor is like a freaking temporary theme park unto itself. And it is so massive that we spent hours on it both days, and I still don't think we saw it all. There's just so much on that floor. But part of the fun of that is, it's artists and it's creators and it's, comic sellers and toy resellers, and it's the big studios, and it's the comic studios, and it's Marvel Studios, and it's DC Studios, and then it's like Sideshow Collectibles and Mondo and Funko and like all the toy manufacturers, Mezco Toys, Mattel. And so like there's so much to see on the floor. It's just a blast to walk around, see it all. But what's cool is because there are so many of these companies that make stuff, collectibles, toys, figures, whatever, there's a lot of Batman stuff just sprinkled all over the place. And so like you go through, and I swear like my camera roll is just full of pictures of toys and figures and statues and all kinds of stuff, because there's just so much neat Batman stuff. And I shared some of it like on the Facebook page and on the Instagram, but there's too much to share. But at least that's really fun too. It's just going and like seeing these amazing things that have been built. Like, oh my gosh, one of the things I didn't even get a chance to share is I did share that one of the booths, and it was one of the designers, and they sell their stuff through Sideshow. They, they had a bunch of cowls out. And the only picture I posted so far was the cowl of the Batfleck cowl. But they had the Keaton cowl from The Flash. They had the Flash cowl from The Flash, but they had a bunch of them. But they also had a bust of Darkseid from Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Ooh.
With like the glowing eyes and everything. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. I didn't get a chance to post it. So yeah, like just stuff like that is super cool. I posted that video of it's almost like a Hot Toys, but it is not Hot Toys. It's this other company, but they made this Michael Keaton figure in the Batcave in front of the monitors, and the monitors are literally playing the Joker commercial from the movie and like full video. And I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. It's like the only video I posted because I was like, if I'm going to start taking video, it's going to take up my whole day. And so I didn't want to do that. But I was like, that is amazing. And this is a place I had never heard of before. Hold on. I need to pull up their name because I need to give credit where credit is due. But they were so cool.
And you're right. I did see that, and I did not recognize the name at all either. But it was so cool. This is ultra nerdy. If you remember,
Doggy Doc Designs.
So was it scaled like a Hot Toys, or was it scaled like a regular figure? Like
it was scaled like Hot Toys.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Doggy Doc Designs. And they designed and built this, and it was a prototype for Jazz Inc. dioramas.
Oh, okay. That I've heard of.
Okay, so I guess Doggy Doc is like the designer who's working with Jazz Inc., and then this was at the little Jazz Inc. booth. But anyway, it was amazing. They also had like the vault for the suit from Batman 89, and they had like from Batman Returns, they had a penguin, but they also had his throne and the Penguin Commandos and everything. Oh my gosh, like I need to post more pictures. There was just, again, so much cool stuff everywhere. The statues.
They didn't have the costume vault from Batman Returns?
They didn't, and I wish they had, because I would have bought it for Jamie.
That would have been great.
Did
with the sliding rack.
Yes, yes. Like they did a scale model of the Batwing, but like the little cockpit comes off, and there's a little Batman in it, and it looks like the miniature from the movie. Like the detail and the precision of some of these things that are being built these days are just mind blowing. And let me say this: they're expensive. But like still within the realm of possibility.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
which almost makes it worse.
Right. Exactly. Because yeah, you scan it. If it was like $15,000, I'd be like, well,
Yeah.
that ain't gonna happen.
Yep.
But like the Keaton with the monitors and everything, that was like $1,200.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, that's a lot,
Yeah.
but like it's a lot that you could make work if you really wanted to, kind of thing.
Like I don't need to be like rich. I just want to be rich enough to have space and money to buy toys. That's it.
Yes, I know. I sent you guys a message because I was walking around and I saw one of the big comics vendors with all the long boxes, and I thought to myself, oh, I'm not buying any physical comics. I don't have space, but I'll buy the statue because I'll find the space for that.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, like I mean, stuff like that. And what's funny is Catherine even said, she goes, "Did you pre-order that?" And I go, "I did not,"
Hmm.
but I thought about it for a second. I think my limit for those impulse purchases is $1,000. So this was just over the line.
Yeah, I was really into a Hot Toys mode back when I want to say when the Dark Knight trilogy was wrapping up and when, the Snyderverse was starting, I was really went deep in the Hot Toys, and then it just got too much. That was right around the time I was having kids, and my shelves are packed, and I kind of just made a decision where it's like, you know what, I got to stop somewhere. And I kind of made the decision of like, you know what, Snyderverse is ending. I got what I need from that universe with my toys. And I've cut back on, like, I haven't collected 6-inch figures in a long time, which makes little sense. But that was my way of saving space because they put so many 6-inch figures out that I was like, I'm going to start collecting 12-inch because they put less of them out, and I'm less inclined to buy all of those. So
Yeah. Oh, hey, listen, whatever logic works for you,
we have to make our own hoops to jump through to justify this stuff. But I like the $50 12-inch figures now that McFarlane does. That's my, like we talk about the Black Manta figure we got from that. I got a Black Adam one. We got Aquaman from Aquaman and Lost Kingdom. Those are pretty decent for your money.
Those are amazing for what they charge. They're great.
Some of them are only like $40.
Yeah.
I got the Superman from that, and Eric told me, God bless him, he was going to send me an extra crypto from his Hot Toys set.
Oh, nice.
Because Superman and Supergirl both come with crypto. So he was like, I'll send you a crypto so you have
it. That's nice. Yeah, we can't all be independently wealthy like Eric and have his Hot Toys addiction.
I picked it up a little later than I did. That's what happened. Was he's into it now. Like he just started and he's like, he's addicted.
I never went down the Hot Toys route for that very reason. I'm like, I can't even open that box because I will fall into it and bad things will happen. So anyway, point is just, it's just so fun to walk around, see all the cool stuff. Had a chance to meet and chat with Paul Dini, which was pretty awesome. Got his autograph, which was neat. And then I also met, and this is more on the Marvel side, but I met a longtime comic book idol of mine, Andy Kubert, the artist. And so I got a print of the first appearance of Gambit signed by Andy Kubert.
Awesome. And he's done some good amount of DC stuff too.
I know, but like I always equate him with X-Men in my brain. So that's why.
I'm just, because the irony of it is because I don't know him from Marvel. I know his name through DC. So he's done enough where I still know the name, which is good.
But no, he's awesome. He was really nice. And I just saw him sitting there and I was like, that's Andy Kubert. I'm going to go see how much it is. I'm going to go see how much it is to get something signed. Cause like some of my favorite Gambit artwork in the world has been done by him. And I didn't even remember that he drew that very first cover of Gambit. Mm-hmm. And I went up and I was like, oh, and they always have someone with them where you talk money because they don't have to. And I asked the lady, I was like, oh, how much are the prints? And she's like, oh, they're $20. And I said, well, how much to get it signed? And she goes, oh, that includes the signature. And I was like, well, yes, of course.
Those are the best finds because those guys that are just on the floor and they're like, they're famous, but not famous enough, I guess, to have like an autograph signing room downstairs or however it's set up in San Diego. But those are usually like the nicest people to get to talk to. Like that's how I met Neil Adams.
Yeah, same.
Mm-hmm. And I got him to sign a poster. I met Greg Rucka that way. Really cool to see those guys just sitting on the table and they're not, ripping you off with their signature. You get a picture with them. It's more low key, much more laid back. It's fun.
Yeah, it was awesome. So yeah, anyway, those were some highlights as well. Those were cool. I sent you guys a picture just because it was so damn awesome. Sideshow did these because I love Batman, but I also love X-Men. They did these X-Men statues that actually light up.
Mm-hmm.
And they did like a Jubilee, a Cyclops, and a Storm, and they all are internally lit. And the Cyclops one is freaking amazing. Like it's like the optic blast, but it lights up from the inside, and it looks so cool. Mm-hmm. And I said to Catherine, I go, if they sold a Gambit one of those, we would be in trouble. And fortunately, they don't yet. But she goes, oh, I know. I can say no to Cyclops, but I cannot say no to Gambit. Anyway, so just cool stuff. Pictures I posted. I will post more, I guess, throughout the week just for the people who are interested. But yeah, I wanted to highlight some of those cool things that we saw throughout. And then there was the DC booth itself. It was way in the back, but it was fun to find. And it was a really interesting combination of stuff at the DC booth. They had some giveaways. They gave us some comics. They gave us buttons with the DC logo. Then they had their merchandise shop there. They also had a little promotional area for the Superman experience, which obviously I've already talked about on this show and put the video up on the YouTube channel. They had an area where you could play the Lego Batman video game. Which I did not play because I didn't have time to sit there and play a video game. I'll buy it when it comes to the Switch. It's fine. They had one little display case where they had Millie Alcock's Supergirl costume, as well as Green Lantern's lantern and ring from Lanterns. And then, but the whole thing is all the little surfaces. It was themed like you were inside Metropolis, so they all looked like fake storefronts, which was really cool.
Oh, nice.
And then where you lined up for the shop, it looked like the Monarch Theater. And on the marquee, it said Clayface, look fear in the face, October 23rd. So that was really cool, too.
Man, those setups must be huge. Like,
yeah.
Go see all that.
I mean, like Funko had mini escape rooms, which we also did, which was really fun. It was like a 90-second escape room, but it was fun. So yeah, like again, the things they set up for just a weekend are pretty amazing. I mean, I got a picture in front of freaking Castle Grayskull, and there is your obligatory Masters of the Universe comment for this week. And it was awesome. Like they had the Castle Grayskull, and they had the statues of He-Man and Skeletor, and then they had the costumes for Teela and Evelyn from the movie. Awesome. Anyway, I want to go back to the DC booth because they had merch, and I got a couple things, but I did control myself. More or less. So I saw someone wearing a baseball cap that had lanterns on it. And I was like, oh, did they give those out at the panel? Because I'm going to be so mad now if I missed it. And they did not. They were just selling them at the booth. I was like, oh, great. I'll buy the lanterns hat. And then they had this really great shirt. I mean, they had a lot of great shirts, but I went with one. It's Batman the Animated Series, but the artwork is beautiful. It's like Batman mostly in silhouette, and then in his body is like all the other characters. I'll send you a picture. I sent you a picture. It was super cool. And then it was like, oh, spend $100 or more and you get this free comic book. And so to push it over that limit, I got the Lanterns keychain, and it is a keychain of the lantern, but it actually lights up green.
Oh, the actual keychain does?
Yeah. I thought I sent you a picture of it lit up, but maybe I didn't.
It's very possible you did. Like I said, I was doing stuff all weekend. I saw.
I mean, it's not like you guys don't have lives, but
no. And honestly, there were so many cool pictures that you sent that like I was kind of looking at. So yeah, you did. I got the lantern is really cool.
It's awesome. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to use it as a keychain because it's really
pictures. So I remember seeing the hat because the hat put out, and then the lantern lighting up is awesome.
Yeah, and like again, it's kind of too big, I think, to use as a real keychain, but it'll be a cool little desk buddy anyway.
You sent it along with that figure that I hope you're about to talk about, because that was what caught my eye, I think, the most.
Okay, so there's a story with that, but that was not.
You have to explain that, because I don't know if you did, and I was busy and didn't see the explanation. But that figure, I've never seen anything like that.
That was not at the DC booth.
Okay.
That was at a separate booth. But anyway, so this is what I got at the DC booth. I got one shirt, one hat, and then the keychain. But when I was like, you know what, throw in one of those keychains and that'll put me over the $100. And she goes, well, we're out of the giveaway comics. And I was like, well, I'll take the keychain anyway. What the hell?
They got me. They got me.
Yep, that's fine. So anyway, it wasn't as extensive as DC booths have been in the past, because in the past they used to have like many display cases with lots of costumes, things like that. But this one, it was just the small, but it was still very cool, and I really liked it. It was a good variety of things there. The other thing I bought that you mentioned, I found by accident. So there's Mezco Toys, and Mezco Toys are the ones who made the relatively recent Batman '89 retro styled action figures. And I did a video of them on the YouTube channel. They're up here on the shelf. They're awesome. Love them. They had a photo op with a life-sized statue of the Dark Knight Returns Batman. And that I did share a picture of, and I got a picture with him. That was really cool. But I'm over there, and it's right by the Mattel booth. So I kept having to go back to the Mattel booth because I was trying to buy this exclusive Skeletor figure where it is the Gym Bro Skeletor from the movie. Now that you've seen the movie, you get it, where he's in the gym and he's like pumping iron. They did a special figure of that all weekend. I tried to find it, didn't get it. Boo. But I kept going back. And so we were by the Mattel booth, and then we run into a old friend of Catherine's. And so they're chatting. And I just kind of like I'm like, well, I'm going to go see if I can sweet talk myself into a Skeletor. I could not. But right next was that Mezco Toys. And I look over there and I see on the counter this little figure. And it has the same retro style packaging as the other Batman '89 figures. It's that same gold look, that Toy Biz style, except this is more like a little mini diorama. So it's, not a card and, what do we call it? The blister pack. It's not that. It's like a little box. And in it is Michael Keaton's Batman in action figure form, but holding up the thug from the beginning of Batman, where he says, "I'm Batman." And it's like on the rooftop. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. Oh my God, I love it. How much is it? And they're like $30. I'm like, great, sign me up. And he's like, do you want two? And I was like, no, I just want one, but thank you. So I bought it.
I sent you for 30. That's fine.
Yeah, but it was so cool. And again, I wasn't even looking for it. Didn't even know they were selling it at the show, but I just happened upon it, and I was like, oh, that's amazing. I sent you guys the picture. Brendan goes, hey man, just out of curiosity, how much was that Batman figure?
Oh.
And I was like, $30. It was actually a pretty good deal. And he goes, would you mind? And I was like, you know what? I live to serve you, my liege. And so I went back and got him one too. That I don't mind. Now I'm gonna have to ship the damn thing. That's the part I hate.
The shipping costs more than the figure.
It's gonna be awful. Anyway, but yeah, so I got him one too. But it's awesome. And again, what a nice surprise. And then I also bought. Don't tell anyone, okay? This is just between me and you, Joe. Don't tell anyone. Yeah. Nobody can hear this. I bought a couple things at the Marvel booth.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know. But the Marvel booth, it was like half Doctor Doom, half X-Men. And like Doctor Doom, cool. I dig Doctor Doom. The suit looked awesome. Like they put the suit out on Saturday. It looked awesome. Love that. But the X-Men half was rad as hell. Like they had a giant Sentinel head where you could get a picture. So me and Catherine got a picture with the big Sentinel head. And then they had their own little merchandise area. And they had this hoodie that is so freaking cool.
That's the one you shared?
Yeah. And it almost looks like Cyclops' outfit, but it's like a little... It's not exactly. It's not 1-to-1, but it is very clearly an X-Men hoodie, and it looks like an X-Men uniform. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I love that hoodie. And so I got that too. But that has to be shipped to me. But yeah, so there we go. I was an equal opportunity money spender. And that doesn't even go into all the artwork that me and Catherine got, but that's its own thing. But yeah, but good swag, good stuff. I was like, and Catherine, we were leaving. She's like, I'm sorry you didn't get Jim Bro Skeletor. And I'm like, you know what? I am satisfied with all the cool stuff we did get. So I'm pretty happy.
That's the fun with going to Comic-Con, because you never know what you're going to find. There's stuff that you're looking for, and it's like going to any type of show like that. You're going to see stuff that you didn't think to see. You're going to miss out on things you wanted. But I mean, I still remember I want to say so. The last Comic Con, I'm in New Jersey, so I've gone to New York Comic Con a few times, but I haven't been in probably um at least 10 years now. I mean, I think the last Comic Con I went to was like the Supergirl pilot. Um,
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to remember what was first, that or the Comic Con prior to BVS, which was 2015. I don't remember when Supergirl premiered, but I went and I got, speaking of swag, they had 3 hats at the DC booth. One for each Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And they each had New York Comic Con 2015 on the side. That's how I know what year I went. And I still, like, I kept those hats in great condition. I still wear them all the time, and I love all 3 of them. I had to get all 3. Actually, they also had an armored Batman hat, which is awesome. It's like the eyes glow in the dark, and it's like the armored helmet as a hat. It's like patent leather. It's really cool.
No, that's really cool. Yeah. The giveaways were not quite as extravagant as that, but you know, that's all right. We spent the money.
Oh yeah, I had to pay for all those.
Oh, okay. When you said swag usually means free.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't know this.
That's no, it's okay.
No, I had to buy all of them.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I'm jealous because like San Diego seems like such a blast. New York Comic Con is like the second in line today.
Yeah,
we don't get the movie stuff, so most of the time I'll go. Like when we went, we did a lot of the CW panels. That was big here. But they always came in the booths, like on the floor. So the floor is where you really felt like you were at Comic Con, even at New York. Like they really brought a lot of fun stuff to that.
For sure, it's so much fun. They were selling a replica of the Lantern's ring, and I was tempted, but it was $70. I was like, I'm not spending $70 on that. Yeah, that's too much.
Like I'd rather have a plastic version that's $20.
Yeah, and what's crazy is they also had, so there's the floor, there's the panels, but there's also what are called the activations out in San Diego, that are like, you know, walkthrough experiences and activities, things like that. They had a Lanterns activation that was like booked up before the con even started, because from what I understand, they were taking like 30 people every 30 minutes. So, you know, that's not a lot of spots over a few days. So I wasn't even going to try to get in because it was like, oh no, we're booked up all weekend. Well, great. But anyway, it was like a 30-minute experience where you kind of walk through, and it's, you know, there's a story. It's almost like an interactive theater thing. But those people who did that got a free Green Lantern ring, which is really cool.
Yeah, but that would definitely be something to strive for. But like you said, you don't want to waste your time when you have so much other stuff to do at these events. And like you said, even, I mean, you go to one event at Hall H, you're missing out on the floor for a day.
Yeah, exactly. So I was okay with that, but yeah, I considered the ring, but $70 was a little too much, a little too rich for my blood.
For what like you're getting, that's really what it is. It's like you try to, you know, justify the price of things, and it's like, $70 for that. I'd rather spend that $70 elsewhere.
Right. And like you said, there's going to be a cheaper version at some point, and I'll get that. Anyway, I told you the one panel I was able to get into was Knightfall. And so I wanted to share a little bit about that panel. They did kick it off by showing the new 1.5-minute trailer that announced that it comes out on August 25th. But it was really cool. So they had the writer there, the producer. I think it was like a Jim Krieg, who I don't remember his title. He might also be a producer. And then they had Michael Mando, who is the voice for Bane. Now, I had never heard of Michael Mando because I never watched Better Call Saul. Now I looked him up. I was like, oh, why is he a big deal? It's mostly Better Call Saul. You know, you and Eric will love this. He also was playing the Scorpion in Spider-Man.
Oh, okay. Now I know exactly who he is.
And yes, now he's voicing
Bane.
Was
big on Better Call Saul.
Yep. Yeah. So now he's voicing Bane. Anyway, he was there too. So it was a normal panel. They answered a lot of questions. I took some notes of some interesting things that they said. And then we got to see like 5 different clips from the movie. So first of all, just a couple little cool tidbits that they shared. They talked about the art style because that's something we all discussed. We're like, oh, you know, interesting to go with the Kelly Jones. And they said that they did look at all of the artists who contributed to Knightfall, but they just felt like the covers were like the most iconic piece of the story, which is why they wanted the movie to look like the covers. So I thought that was cool.
I like that idea. Like
Yeah,
going because I think one of the biggest criticisms we've had of these sometimes is they don't have a distinct style. It's nice to hear that they did try to make this a distinct style.
for sure. And it is, right?
Oh yeah.
And it also factors in where they said, like, oh, one of their goals was they wanted to make the most 90s Batman ever. And they also wanted it to be a tribute to 90s comics and films. So that makes a lot of sense too. They also said, there was a lot of influence from The Crow, and even told the composers that they should listen to a lot of The Cure.
Well, that's got to make you happy that the
Yeah.
90s influence.
Yeah, for sure. I love that.
Because it has become an era that has kind of become forgotten or dismissed in recent years.
Yeah.
For Batman comics, I should say.
For sure. They talked about that Jason Todd's death is very important to the story, which it was in the comics, so that makes sense. And one of the clips that we saw made that very clear, is that in that Bruce is still wrestling with the loss of Jason. So that was pretty interesting. But it plays a lot into Bruce's relationship with Tim, which again makes a lot of sense. They said that they were excited to do a version of Bane that they had never seen on film before. And one of the guys made a joke that landed like a lead balloon, where they're like, yeah, and I love that you made Bane really easy to understand, so you could understand what he was saying.
Oh God.
And everybody was just kind of like, oh, okay. But along those lines, Michael Mando, he did say that originally when they hired him, that they we don't want you to do a voice, like don't do a Bane voice, just be you. And then he shows up for the first day of recording, and they said, all right, we want to hear your Bane voice. And so he said he had 5 minutes to come up with the Bane voice, but his thought was like the voice, much like Bane, is trying to like shape the world around him. And then you hear it in the trailer. You're like, okay, that's a decent Bane voice, but certainly understandable. And I don't know if we knew this, is that Kelly Jones, obviously they're taking inspiration from his artwork for the movie, but he also drew the poster / cover of the animated version.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
The actual like disc, like the cover art or whatever.
Yeah. So they got him to do the cover art, which was really neat. They said originally they were asked to do it in 2 parts, but the more they did it, the more they're like, it just is natural for 3 parts. And then DC / WB were like, okay, fine, we'll do a trilogy. So they tried to make it work with 2, but at least everybody was cool to roll with it and do 3. They were asked about the R rating, and they said that actually came from the executives. They started reviewing the storyboards with the executives, and as they were going, they were like, oh, but can't we see this? And can't we see this? And they're like, we could, but that's going to make it R. And they're like, that's fine. So that's how that went. They'd also talked about trying to pare down the story and tell it efficiently. Even though it's 3 movies, there's still a lot to pare down. So they did say that a lot of moments and battles from the comics are in montage in the movie, but hopefully that just inspires people to go read the book. And they also made a joke that if Jim had his way, this would be called Knightfall, the Tim Drake story, which also made me happy. Because they talked about how much they love Tim Drake and how important it was to do Tim Drake in this movie, because they said, well, I mean, Tim is the one who figures everything out. And they also want to make him a badass in the movie because that's who he was in the comics.
So sounds good to me.
You know what? Good stuff. And then they, put their money where their mouth was, and they showed us clips. They showed us 5. I did wonder, like, are we going to get invited to a screening? Well, I knew obviously the panel wasn't long enough to show us the whole movie, but it was just clips. But I'll tell you, the clips were great. I don't know. Well, let me keep it spoiler free to start. And then you let me know if you want spoilers. There were 2 things that I would say are spoilery. The rest, not so much. But the first thing they showed us was what appeared to be the opening sequence of the film. And it was Azrael taking down a bunch of like human traffickers.
Okay.
And taking them down in incredibly violent and bloody ways. So when we saw that, we're like, oh my God, this is very R-rated. Like, I don't know if you watch Invincible, but like, it's almost to that level. So very bloody, very violent. And what's cool is like, it's very reminiscent of like the dock scene from Batman Begins. And so you think it's Batman, but it ends up being Azrael.
Oh, okay.
And then it ends with Batman stepping in because Azrael's just killing people and Batman tries to stop him. So the animation looked great. The action looked great. If you want gore, they got you covered. And they also talked about how like this sequence was really important because in the comics, Azrael had been set up for 2 years before Knightfall. Here, they've got to introduce Azrael at the beginning of the movie, so it all makes sense. And so this sequence is there to do that, and that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like their version of what they did with Under the Red Hood. You have to somehow give us Robin's death in that little prologue to make it make sense when Jason comes back for Under the Red Hood.
Yeah, for sure. So that was the opening. That was really cool. Then there was another one. It was a little more character driven where Bruce is in the Batmobile. He takes off his cowl and he calls Chandra. She's the doctor who's trying to help him in the book, and she's in this as well.
Oh man, I don't even remember her name.
Yeah. And so, she's been carried over into the movie, and they talk about how she is really that love interest and sort of that conscience character. And so Bruce is going through counseling with her, and he calls her, but he's still in the bat suit in the car. And she's like, you need help. Come see me. And then the bat signal shines, and he's like, sorry, I can't. I got to go. So that one was pretty short, but it was still very cool to show like just the beginning of the breaking down of Batman.
Mm-hmm.
They talked about how they do go into Bane's origin, and we got a little clip of that, of young Bane with his mother, and how even as a child, his mother was teaching him, you've got to be strong. You can't have mercy. You can't show pity to people. Which is a bit heartbreaking. Then there was a sequence where Bane has Robin tied up, and Robin gets Bane to monologue while he slowly is like cutting his bonds, trying to free himself. And that sequence ended with something very cool that I would consider a spoiler. It was pretty awesome. The two big spoilers I would say were that, and then like basically what Azrael did in the opening. I'll just tell you it's gory and violent, but if you wanted more specifics, I would consider that spoilery because there was stuff that kind of had you go, oh my God. Anyway, the Robin scene with Bane was pretty great. But again, Robin has figured it out. He's captured by Bane. He is escaping while he's getting Bane to talk. Pretty awesome. And then the last one we got was Bane versus Batman in the Batcave. And they're fighting. Bane is just obviously dominating Batman. And, straight from the comic, Bane picks up Batman. I don't think this is a spoiler. People have read Knightfall. And he says, I'm not going to kill you. Killing you would put you out of your misery. He said, so what I'm going to do, and he lifts him up to break him, and then it cuts to Knightfall out on 825. So they like ended it right before the breaking, which made us all laugh.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's what they were planned to do for that, and I would have expected nothing more while in there. All that sounds great, and it looks like they're doing a faithful adaptation, but also changing things up a little bit. Because now you just recently read Knightfall. I have not read it in probably a good 5 years at least. It might even be longer since I've read it. Most recently. I don't think Batman and Robin even meet up with Bane until he breaks Batman's back in the comic. Correct?
Yeah, that's true.
So interesting to see them actually meeting up with him prior, which I think is fine. And I like the fact that we're going to get more of Azrael, because if you don't read the stuff leading up to Knightfall in the comics, you're missing out on all that stuff, which is how I read it the first time. I didn't know who the hell Azrael was.
Right.
So it's good to get some of that backstory for this. And I'm glad like they're making it so if you know nothing, you can go into this and be entertained and be happy. Like, the R rating is, I'm so torn on that because again, I don't care. I'm watching it. I'm old enough to watch an R-rated movie. It's just, again, I get why people are like, do you really need to do it? Would it accomplish anything less if you made it PG-13? Sometimes I'm kind of like, well, the PG-13 is like towing that line so much that you might as well just go and make it R, because there's nothing in the PG-13 that would make me go, oh, I could show this to a kid, or the R. Like if I'm showing the PG-13, I might as well show them the R. Like sometimes there's not really that much of a difference.
Yeah.
If the kid's old enough to see the stuff that's in, the Flashpoint Paradox movie, they're probably old enough to see this at that point.
Right.
Because there's some pretty gruesome stuff in the PG-13 animated films.
Yeah, I mean that's true. This though is not like almost PG-13. This is hard R.
Oh yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. It's
Yeah.
more even at that point, like whatever. I don't know. I
No,
get both
I get what
sides
you're
of it
saying.
because
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and for sure. And again, like, while I'm watching that clip, I'm like, oh, I mean, heck, they're certainly using the R to their advantage. And it's not like
Yeah.
Knightfall is something I need to watch with my kids anyway. But yeah, I,
Mhm.
I definitely fall more in that camp of like, why do we need R-rated Batman? Do we really need that? But
I guess they just know that we're the ones buying these. So like they don't
yeah,
care at this point, or maybe they've learned that the R-rated ones are getting more money out. I don't know. I don't know how that would be the case, but who knows?
yeah, for sure. Well, anyway, I expressed in the last episode my only my biggest concern about this is that it is the same team as did the Crisis movies, which were not good. But at least from what I saw this weekend, I am not worried about Knightfall. Everything I saw, I liked. Or loved. I thought it looked great. The trailer was great. The clips were great. Everything seems to be there. They had a lot of passion for it. They even said that, they'd been trying to make this forever. And when it came up again, they were like, yeah, why haven't we done that? That doesn't make any sense. And so it was
Mhm.
really easy to move forward with it. So the passion was there. And again, from everything I'm seeing of the movie itself, I think that it's going to deliver. So I'm super psyched. I can't wait to watch it in a little less than a month.
It makes you wonder what the heck happened with Crisis. Like if
Yeah.
this thing ends up being like amazing, it's like, man, we had this team doing a 3-part Crisis and it ended up like that, yet they nail Nightfall.
Right.
Like
I
how?
know. I
Like
know.
that's where you almost wonder, like, okay, were there prerequisites? They were like, you have to do this, you have to do this, because it was part of the universe. Like maybe that was the problem.
Maybe.
Was they had too many not even restraints, just too many like notes. Who
Mm.
knows?
Yeah. No idea, but hoping for the best on
Yeah.
Nightfall. Again, so far so good. Can't wait for more. And it's nice that we don't have to wait very long. It's going to be coming our way soon.
Hmm.
August 25th.
And it's
I'm
been a
just going to buy
while.
it. I'm just going to buy it digitally. I'll be honest. I don't need to
Yeah,
wait.
that's always a struggle with me to double dip just because I don't want to wait or
Yeah.
wait for the disc, but we'll see where I'm at when when that happens. Um it's been a while since we've gotten a Batman animated film, which is weird to say because for a while every year we were getting like one or two Batmans and then one random.
Well, and it's
Um
also been a while since we've gotten like a true Batman animated film, if you know what I mean.
well yeah, cuz we got I guess we got the Batman Ninja sequel, which was what,
God, which
2
I
years
still
ago?
haven't
I've
watched.
never
Yeah.
watched it. No. I'm curious, but that wasn't really my thing. Because this is like a Justice League version. And then what was the last animated Batman movie we got?
I I want to say it was the Doom that came to Gotham, but maybe there was another like. But even that, like I said, I'm like it's a Batman movie, kind of.
Yeah, and I like that one, but you're right. It's like an Elseworlds. They kept doing
Yeah.
like they weren't really. I mean, it's an adaptation, but it's an Elseworlds adaptation. Yeah, I don't
Like I
even
feel
know
like
if that was.
the last true one was Long Halloween, and even that's
Yeah,
probably
that's the only
been
one that I'm thinking of.
at least 4 years, right? Maybe more.
That was 2021. Was part one.
5 years. There you go. So anyway, I'm excited for this. Can't wait. Um, let's move on to Lanterns. It did feel like Lanterns was the
Main
what got
event.
pushed the most for DC for Comic Con.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Which is good because again, it comes out in 3 weeks, so now's the time to build the hype. Uh, and so yeah, like they went hard on lanterns. I think that's why they had the lantern and the ring out. That's why they had the merch. I do like that lanterns hat. And then they had the panel on Saturday. So Nathan Fillion crashed the panel, which looks super cool. They all did the oath together. We walked right by Nathan Fillion. Uh,
Oh, awesome.
I think he was on his way to or from the panel. I can't remember what time it was, but someone was like, "Oh, make way, make way!" And I was like, "What's going on?" And it was Nathan Fillion with the people kind of around him. And I was like, "Oh, cool, Nathan Fillion, awesome." So anyway, the Lanterns panel, I have not watched it in its entirety, but I've seen clips and I've heard comments, things like that. I did not realize, maybe I should not admit this, I didn't realize Aaron Pierre was British. Should I have known that?
Oh, I did not know that either.
So I heard him talking about John Stewart, and I was like, wait. He has an accent? Didn't know. But yeah, like super cool. And then we got that final Lanterns trailer before we get to see the show. I mean, but like even like throughout San Diego, there were big posters and things of lanterns as well. So it was everywhere. But yeah, let's get to the trailer. I think that you were probably similar to me as you usually are with the previous Lanterns trailers. But yeah, how had you been feeling up till this, and what'd you think of the new one?
I mean, full disclosure, I am a huge Green Lantern fan. I mean, I probably, as far as comic reading goes, it's probably number 2 to Batman for me. So I was so excited for this show. And then, yeah, the apprehension starts when they start talking about Grounded and this and True Detective, but everything I kept trying to like reassure myself because okay, is it Damon Lindelof, right?
Mm-hmm.
He did Watchmen. Watchmen, you could say, is a grounded show to an extent, but
Mm-hmm.
we still get, you know, spoilers for a show that's almost 10 years old now. We still get Dr. Manhattan in the show.
Yeah.
So I kept like trying to reassure myself if they consider Watchmen grounded, I'm good. Like, we're going to get there. It's not going to be what we're fearing, hopefully. So, and then we see the first trailer and it's like, okay, I was again just trying to reassure myself. They're trying to get the general audience first. Get the general audience with a taste of the character stuff to get them invested. And like, listen, whether we want to admit it or not, the biggest complaint right now with comic book movies is that they all are the same thing. People are kind of tired of the paint by numbers comic book properties. And with Green Lantern, a lot of people still, it just comes with a bad stigma because of that 2011 movie, which me and you were on the same page. Still don't think that's that bad of a movie.
No, we
Uh,
like it.
I still like it. I don't care. I think it's a middle of the road MCU movie at worst. Um, I, but the stigma would be what would stand out for an HBO show if they just went with, a cosmic Guardians of the Galaxy esque show. So I think in the grand scheme of things, we're gonna end up saying that it was a smart tactic to do it the way they've done. Start with the character stuff, start with the grounded nature of the buddy cop true detective story. But yes, us lantern fans, we're sitting here going, okay, but you're gonna give us some lanterns, right? You're gonna give us some suits, you're gonna give us something, right? Like, and I was to the point where I was like, all right, even if they give it to me in the last episode, we're eventually going to get to the same universe that Superman is in. We know that.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
like, you try to just let logic help you out a little bit. And I think they heard all the complaints, but again, the general audience isn't making those complaints. Like, the people that aren't into comic books are not watching that trailer and going, well, that's not the Green Lantern. They're saying, oh, that looks interesting.
Mhm.
So they have to win them over first. And I think they did a good job of winning us over, hopefully, with this latest trailer. Because this gave us, and I think they tempered our expectations too by giving us the other stuff first.
Yeah.
Where I still have nitpicks. I mean, this might be wrong, but my biggest nitpick is probably that, and this is no slight to Kyle Chandler, I don't see Hal Jordan yet. And I don't know how you
Hmm.
feel. I've had a big investment in the Jeff Johns run on Hal Jordan. This is not that Hal Jordan. This is honestly the Silver Age Hal Jordan. This is the Hal
Mhm.
Jordan that trained John Stewart. So it's obviously accurate to that story they're telling. I went back and read some of those issues because I was interested, and that's pretty dead on with them being at odds when John is getting the ring. It's pretty spot on to how those comics went. But right now in my head, this is not how I would have done Hal Jordan if I was doing the first, I guess it's not the first, but if I was doing a new Green Lantern show. But
Mhm.
all that being said, and I'm sorry for rambling, I am so excited for what's coming with this show. And I think that's what's exciting is I hope they're holding back a lot of stuff, but they're clearly not shying away as much as we were worried they would, because we're
Mhm.
getting Manhunters, we're getting Sinestro, we're getting all the stuff that we were hoping for or wishing for, just in a different way than maybe we expected.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, again, I think that we're pretty similar is that I liked what I was seeing, but of course the whole time I was like, we need a little more Green Lantern in this Green Lantern show. But I do think that, like you said, it was smart the way they've built it up, starting very with that very first teaser, very it almost looks like a normal show. They certainly
Yeah.
implied the Green Lanternness of it. And then, of course, the fans, there was a bit of an outcry. Then there was the second trailer, which was better. But they sort of built up to it. And then there was this third trailer, which I think is really, really good.
Mhm.
Um, and I think they are finding a really good balance of what they told us they wanted to make, which was this true detective, murder mystery in a small town. I've never watched Yellowstone, but to me, it feels very Yellowstone-y, based on what I do know about it. But also making it a Green Lantern story. And I'm really glad that this new trailer seems to have done the trick. And I think we said it. I don't know if we said it on the show, but we certainly said it amongst ourselves where we are the people who live for this, who had been killing for a Green Lantern show, all our lives. And to hear we're getting one, we should be the ones who are like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, can't wait. But instead we've been like, I'm looking forward to it. It looks good.
Mhm.
I'm cautious.
Yeah.
And like, we shouldn't be cautious. We should be the ones who you've already got in the bag. And so I do think that that is telling, but I feel like a lot of that worry is going away because of this third trailer, which is good. Because yeah, it's a little bit of both. And it seems like they're not afraid to go intergalactic at certain moments in the show because we see bits and pieces of that in the trailer, but they're still doing their mystery in a small town. Again, I've said all along, I think that it looks like Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre are killing it. I think they both look great. I don't have the same reservations about Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan because I understand the take they're doing on this Hal Jordan. And I think Aaron Pierre is a star, and it was smart to get him when they did. But I thought the trailer was really, really cool. Getting our first real glimpse of Sinestro is awesome. Um, like getting more of the construct, seeing a little bit more of the larger scope in some of the Green Lantern action, but still, like, again, not going away from the show they promised us at the beginning. I think right now it's all working. I still think his suit looks a little weird. I'll be honest. Like, we'll see how it looks in context, but it just looks a little clunky on him. It doesn't look like it fits him right. You know what they should have done? They should have made it CG. They should have made the entire suit CG, and then that wouldn't have been a problem.
Isn't it a shame that that has become such a punchline, and I still have no issues with that suit because
Neither do
now,
I.
like, what, like, I don't get it. That's the whole point, is the suit is a construct. So now they're scared to do that.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't be. That punchline has become so annoying.
And and again, like that of the issues in that movie, and I am not blind to a lot of the issues in
Oh
that movie.
yeah.
I don't think the suit's one of them. Personally, I think the suit looks good.
Listen, I went back and watched a little bit of the movie the other day. I didn't finish it because I got busy and sidetracked or whatever. But like, it was such a different time in 2011 where we were like, oh, the CGI is terrible. Now you watch movies now and it's like, oh, the CGI is not that bad. Man, the CGI holds up just like any of these other movies that come out today. Like, I don't know. I just, again, the constructs are supposed to look a certain way in everyone's mind. For some reason, they have to criticize it. But I have no issue with the CGI in that movie. I really don't. It's a shame that the suit has become a talking point for people because now we're complaining, ironically, that this suit isn't a construct. Well, you can't have it both ways, people.
Yeah. Well, and I don't need it to be a construct. Again, I
No,
just
I'm
think
not saying you. I'm
just,
not saying
yeah,
you.
yeah. It just fits a little. It just fits a little awkward in what we're seeing of it. So that's like the one thing where I'm like, I'm glad he has a suit, but it just doesn't look like it's the best fitting suit in the world. But we'll see how it goes when we see the show. So yeah, I'm really excited about the show. And again, it was nice to see a lot more excitement from this last trailer. And like you said, the reveal of the Manhunters. And I do wonder if they were trying to not reveal that until we got to see the show, and then
Probably.
they decided, well, you know what, we gotta turn the tide here, and that'll do it. And I think it worked, because as soon as they say it, you're like, oh,
And showing
what?
us Sinestro is not just a regular person, showing us that he does look like Sinestro.
Yeah, for sure. And then yeah, like we get a tease of the Manhunter transforming, and I'm like, oh, I want to see more of that. So there is enough in here that is true, like Green Lanternness, and then again mixed with this other, small town mystery show. That yeah, I think it looks great, and I can't wait for it. And I'm glad that this trailer finally has helped out. I do think though it's not just the third trailer. I think it is because especially from that first teaser and then a little bit from the second trailer, I think that they have intentionally or not managed people's expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had a lot of people expecting the worst.
Yeah,
and
agreed.
then you get this trailer and you're like, "Oh, it's not so bad. Look, they're doing that thing. Oh, look, they
Yep.
go to space. There's a space prison with Sinestro. Okay, all right."
Yeah.
And I think people are now a little more willing to accept that because they were afraid we wouldn't get any of that.
We shortened the goalpost a little bit. We're like,
Yep.
all right,
Yep.
I'm okay with this now. And I think so. They're already writing a season 2. They're already pretty much like guaranteed a season 2. I use the word guaranteed loosely, but they're writing a season 2. It's a different group of writers or something. Like they're changing. It sounds like they're changing the idea of what season 2 is going to be. Not necessarily responsive of this, but that was always the plan, is what I gather. Is they're
Mhm.
moving towards something,
Yeah.
and we know they're going to show up in Man of Tomorrow in some capacity.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
Aaron Pierre is I think
yeah,
confirmed
yeah.
that
They're
he'll be in it.
hiding him in the suit,
Mhm.
so we don't know when we're going to get that reveal. Probably in the show. I'm not saying they're going to reveal it, prior at this point. I honestly, at this point, why bother? I mean, you're releasing Funkos with him in regular street clothes, so like, why ruin it now? Um,
I fully expect he gets the suit in the season finale.
yeah, that's what is, uh, probably the case. I'm very curious with these trailers, the way they do this kind of stuff. If most of it is in the first few episodes of the season, is it a 6 episode or an 8 episode?
I think
You
it's
know,
8.
okay. That's a lot of show. I mean, in all honesty, the rumor is the first episode is an hour and a half,
Ooh, nice.
which has me really excited.
Yeah.
So that means you could do all the setup in the first episode and then we go crazy. I've also seen some cool interviews from Comic-Con, not necessarily from the panel, with Tom King and Damon Lindelof, that someone asked, are we going to see the Yellow Lantern Corps? And he's like, listen, I'm not going to spoil anything, but he basically said it would be foolish of us to not at least explore that.
Mhm.
So that has me excited. um I want to see where this goes in the great scheme of the Lantern Corps, and where, what other colors we could see. But honestly, excited. I don't know if this is spoilery or not. I'm pretty sensitive to spoilers, but from what I gather in the panel, they did say the woman character, and now I've got to have to look up her name. The one from you're gonna laugh. The only reason I know her is from Ninja Turtles: Out of the Shadows. The woman.
Are
Do you know who I'm talking about, though?
you talking about Laura Linney?
Yes.
Oh, from
Um,
the Truman Show?
sure.
Congo?
Yeah, she's in a lot of stuff, but I just remember her from Ninja Turtles: Out of the Shadows because that's me. Um,
I forgot she was in that, honestly.
so she is evidently a guardian.
I heard that rumor, but I didn't know where it came from.
I thought they confirmed it at the panel, is what I heard.
Oh, okay.
It's still not confirmed on IMDb because they didn't
Well,
name her or anything like that. But I
hopefully
thought
I can
it was.
find an hour this week and finally listen to the panel.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I
Yeah.
mean, but again, there at least is going to be some talk about the Guardians, so it would make sense that we would see one. So that will be interesting. But yeah, it's nice to see how they're weaving in the Green Lantern mythology.
Yeah.
And it's exciting to see where it goes. But like, I mean, you get Guy Gardner in here again.
Yeah.
So It is certainly in the same universe, and so I think that a lot of those fears have quieted down now because of this, which is great because I can't wait to watch this, and I hope you're right. I hope the first episode is essentially a mini movie because now I'm really excited about it.
And like I keep saying, at worst case scenario, this is an HBO show. Knock on wood, HBO doesn't miss with quality.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, of course, I want it to be a Green Lantern show, but I know I'm going to be entertained either way, even if it's not quite the cosmic adventure that I want. We will get there eventually, hopefully in the movies at worst case scenario.
Yeah. Well, and same, but again, I think that we and then most of the fans now aren't expecting that cosmic adventure anymore, and so now we can be excited about what the show actually is.
And just take the show for what it is at this point.
Yep.
Agree.
Awesome. Well, Lanterns coming our way on, oh my gosh, what is it like?
August 15th?
August 15th?
Yeah.
August 16th.
August 16th. It's a Sunday, so it's an HBO proper show. They keep saying HBO Max, but if it's a Sunday, that's HBO.
All right.
So I'm curious because that does make a difference. I don't know why, but I feel like HBO, when it's a Sunday night show, they do a lot of, and this is me being ultra nerdy, I know, but they do a lot of extra stuff, a little more behind the scenes stuff after the episodes.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That stuff is a lot more fun for me.
Yeah, like Last of Us and
exactly.
Yeah, things like that. Yep. Cool. Awesome. Lanterns in just a couple of weeks. So we've got Batman Cape Crusader coming out in a week. Not even, slightly less.
This weekend, right?
Yes, this weekend. And then we got Lanterns 2 weeks after that. And then in October, we've got Clayface. So I did save Clayface to the end because we got like a final full-on trailer for Clayface. You know, again, there was a panel. I didn't scrub through and pull quotes, but, you know, I'm sure that you can go out there and find it. But we got the what I assume is the final trailer for Clayface. I guess they didn't say it was final, but it's the first official full-length trailer after the teaser we got a couple of months ago. So Clayface, you know, is in Gotham City. And since this is a Batman show, I wanted to save him till last. How are you feeling about Clayface, especially with the new trailer?
These are so tricky because, again, it's actually pretty similar to Lanterns. I'm taking it for what it is. Do I want Batman to show up? Of course I do. Is he going to? Probably not. This is a horror movie, and man, that trailer, I mean, it's definitely look away at certain points of, you know, bodily horror or body horror. This is not usually my forte with movies, but over the last few years, you know, I've gotten more into the horror genre because it seems like the horror genre is where we get a lot of cool original stories lately. And yes, this is an IP, but I mean, to take a DC villain, kind of do what they did with Joker, but instead of doing, you know, Taxi Driver or you know, something like that, which again, I'm not even criticizing it. I don't say it cheekily, like I like that movie. But we knew what they were doing. With this, they're saying, hey, let's take this and make an original horror movie. I'm sure they're taking, you know, inspiration from other things, but this just looks very faithful to the character of what we know, and it seems like they're taking heavily inspired from Batman the Animated Series, the of Matt Hagen. So we're gonna get Easter eggs. We already got some in the trailer.
Yeah,
I think this movie's gonna be sprinkled with a ton of Easter eggs throughout it, and we're gonna see hints of Batman throughout it. But that aside, again, as long as I'm getting a good horror movie in that universe, to me, sometimes I'm okay with that because I am one that, as much as I love the shared universe, I think I like the fact that we're getting movies in this shared universe that are not reliant on the other movies. That to me is fun. I want to see different. And we've talked about how maybe Supergirl seemed too much like a James Gunn movie. This does not seem like that is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for what we're getting with this. And I don't know what my thought process is going to be while I'm watching it, because I'm probably going to be mortified watching some of the stuff on the screen, but I'm excited.
I mean, it's a effective trailer if people are cringing at the sequence they highlight in it.
Yes.
So that that was good. But no, I agree with you, and I do think that with lanterns and with Clayface, we do need a bit of a change in flavor. Because again, that was my biggest issue with Supergirls. It just felt like another James Gunn project, and these don't. These feel very distinctive unto themselves, and like you said, like I love horror movies anyway.
Mhm.
I'm in in the mood for a horror movie in October, and the fact that it is a DC horror movie in October is just a bonus, and the fact that
Mhm.
it's in Gotham City even better. I think it's a great trailer, and I think that it does what it needs to do, and I saw a lot of excitement around this of people really responding well to it and being excited about it. I think that it does a good job of laying out the story and what Matt is going through, and you get glimpses of like the horrible thing that happened to him, and why he's willing to try this procedure that eventually turns him into Clayface. And so, no, I think it's a really great trailer in selling this concept. And then, yeah, the sequence that everybody's talking about is his eyes start like gooing shut on an airplane, and he pulls out a pair of scissors to cut his eyelids back open. And yeah, if you don't if you don't
Oh,
if the hairs on the back of your neck don't stand up a little bit trying to watch that, I don't know what's wrong with you, because you're like, oh dear God, it's horrifying. So yeah, I mean, you're certainly seeing the decay of Matt Hagen, and then much like the last trailer, they do tease at the end straight up Clayface, and so I hope that's the case.
yeah, and listen, I'm one that's worn contacts my whole life. I'm not squeamish when it comes to touching eyes and all that, but there's something different about cutting the eyelids. It's like, oh, what is happening? Why am I watching this? Uh, so yeah, so the one thing that's really cool about this, and I don't even know if this was the case with the Joker, because the Joker is such a, I'm sorry, with Joker, because the Joker is such a household name. With Clayface, I think people know of him, but not to the extent of Joker, obviously.
Yeah.
But you could sell this movie without the DC logo. And I think that is what is really exciting about it. I mean, we live in a world where Obsession just made almost $500 million off of a $750,000 budget. People are willing to go to the theater for horror movies now that look different and look interesting. And I think this has that. I don't think it needs to make 500 million, obviously, but I think it's exciting to have a movie that has a lower budget, isn't needed to save the DCU already, or be this big blockbuster. Whatever it does is going to be a positive. I can't see this movie flopping with the way the budget is and with the way the interest is, and I just want something to just have some positivity right now. After,
Yeah.
again, we're living in the cycle of being a DC fan, constantly worrying about these movies coming out. I think this is a win-win any way you look at it.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, agreed. And I don't want to tempt fate, but it's well positioned to be at least a nice little hit.
Mhm.
Like you said, it doesn't have to be a monster hit, but from what we're seeing of the movie, from these trailers, from the release date, it has what it needs to succeed. And like you said, it'll be good to get a little extra goodwill in the universe, and the fact that this is part of that, I think, helps. So you're right. You could sell this movie without the DC logo, and I think people would still be intrigued because it looks like it works as just a scary movie.
Yeah.
And especially towards the end of the trailer, where you get kind of that rapid fire images of like just stuff, but
Mhm.
it all looks really gruesome and really intense, and that's what the audience is going to want from this. But I do think that DC branding is just that extra little thing to give it a unique, make it unique.
Oh yeah.
um
It
and
makes
and
people's eyebrows go up a little bit where they're like, "Huh,
right,
what's that about?"
yeah. Yeah, so I'm really excited about this, and I can't wait to see more. And I thought it was a great trailer that did what it needed to, in that it sets up the characters, it sets up the story, and then it shows how things just go horribly wrong, and that's going to be a hell of a ride.
Yeah, it's only got a $40 million budget. So,
Which is perfect for Clayface.
yep.
So I did see, I mean, like you said, there's some Easter eggs in the trailer. The one I did not pick up on, so I got to give credit to the internet for pointing out, is the Club Vesuvius.
That was the one I was going to point out to
Okay.
you. I wouldn't have known that either. I'm not going to pretend like, oh yeah, you didn't know that. No, I would not have got that. But yeah, it's a Zatanna Easter egg apparently.
Yeah, I think that's cool that that's where Zatanna performs. And then, the other one is the same Easter egg we got on the last one, which is the like the Miracle Mile, where it shows the woman walking kind of like under almost like an overpass, and it's got the ads for the Miracle Mile behind her.
Oh, so that one I didn't see. I saw the Anarchy logo. Did you see that one?
Oh, yeah.
I did not. What is Miracle Mile?
That's like the amusement park.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was not aware of that one, but I did see the Anarchy logo in the background of a shot. Someone pointed out.
And then you also see like the way that the teaser trailer ended was him in that bathtub and he kind of like smears his face. Here you get a little better look of him in that bathtub and his body is like falling apart. Like this is where he really is starting to look like a big lump of clay. So
yeah, this was
it's
a little different than the original shot.
yeah, it's way grodier than than what was in the teaser.
Yeah.
So yeah, very cool. Clayface, bring it on. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Yeah, I can't wait for it just because of the a different flavor, seeing where, and again, it's a Batman world. We're getting a Batman world film at that point, and hopefully it gives us our first taste of something.
Yeah, I'm excited. All right. Well, there you go. There's your DC, I think, of San Diego Comic-Con 2026. We'll see what they do next year. They're going to keep doing this format where they just break it up and every project gets their own dedicated panel, or, will the pendulum swing back and they'll want to do one big presentation on Saturday. But again, it was nice because, yes, Marvel Studios still did the Saturday panel, but that was not enough of a temptation where I was like, oh, how am I going to get in there? Mm-hmm. I was like, I made peace with it already. And it was great to be like, you know what? While everybody's in Hall H or fighting to try and get into Hall H, I'm going to wander out here. I'm going to look at toys. I'm going to go do the Funko escape room. It was nice. All right. Well, it was a great weekend. It was really fun. On Saturday, Catherine and I did 25,000 steps.
Ooh, there you go.
Which was amazing. And then we were on a panel. So, I mean, anybody who follows my Instagram or hers saw that we did a panel on Saturday night, which was really fun as well. So a good Comic-Con and a good weekend. Very cool. And then, always nice to get more content and stuff to talk about. All right. Well, if you listened last time, we got through some emails, but I got a ton of emails, buddy. And I still don't think we're going to get through them all tonight, but we are going to at least get through some. So it's time to check in with you, fine feathered finks. Let's crack open the Wayne Manor Mailbox. It's time again for Wayne Manor Mailbox.
You've got mail.
Darren, what is a letter for me?
Maybe temporary.
She wrote a letter.
You're one hell of a messenger. Sizzle, Master Wayne.
As you can imagine, a lot of these are still left over from Supergirl, or shall we say, the Supergirl fallout. This one here is from Lachlan. It says, hey guys, I just listened to your Supergirl episode and it's nice to find people relatively positive on the movie. I personally loved it and I thought it does a good job of adapting, in my opinion, one of the best comic books of all time. My question is, since we're getting Clayface in October and no release date for The Brave and the Bold, hypothetically, what other Batman villains or side characters would you like to see get a solo movie? Thanks. Have a great week, Lachlan. Thanks, Lachlan. And first of all, I'm glad you like Supergirl, Lachlan. That makes me happy. Joe and I liked it too. I think,
I definitely did. I'm looking forward to watching it again because I only saw it the one time.
Comes out on digital tomorrow. I think I'm going to watch it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, any Batman villains or side characters you would like see get a solo movie?
Whoa. Side character. I mean, I would love a Robin movie.
Man, you know.
Like, I mean, that's an easy answer. It's almost too easy that I feel like I'm cheating by just giving that answer.
It's a good answer. Can I tell you? So,
I mean, well, here's an even easier one.
Oh, go ahead.
If only there was a Batgirl movie we could watch.
Oh, that would be amazing. I would watch that.
You could put that out tomorrow.
I'll steal my answer from Teen Titans Go to the Movies. Utility Belt, the movie. No, so I wanted a Robin movie since forever. Of course I have. But I love that original Robin miniseries. I've talked about it on the show before. And what was cool was that in the Knightfall panel, one of the guys gave a shout out to that Robin miniseries. And he goes, yeah, like I had the poster of that cover on my wall for years as a kid. And I was like, me too, man. Me too. And I think that miniseries would be a great thing to base a movie on because it's Tim Drake leaving Gotham to go train the way Batman did. And then he, of course, gets, embroiled into a international crimes issue with the King Snake and Lady Shiva, and it's great. And it's like, you could take that and certainly build a movie around it. And then the other answer I've given it before, but I'll give it again, especially since we're excited about Clayface. Give me a Scarecrow movie set at Halloween.
Yeah, no brainer. We could just make this a tradition every October. Just do a horror movie of a Batman villain.
I would love it. All right,
Mr. Freeze Christmas movie.
See, I'm into that. Of course I am. Yep, and an Egghead Easter movie.
Oh, perfect. There you go. Not enough Easter content.
Poison Ivy Earth Day. Let's just give every villain a holiday and we'll release movies.
You could do Crazy Quilt Pride Day.
I love it. Yes. All right. Next email is from Ron Messbarger. It says, hey guys, I love your movie breakdown. So I wanted to throw a debate topic your way that has a lot of layers to it. Oh, good. He says, I've been thinking about the track record of female-led superhero films. When they hit, they really hit, but it feels like the industry and the audience treat them with a different set of rules. I'd love to know how you guys would rank these 10 from best to worst.
Oh.
Wonder Woman 1984, Wonder Woman, Supergirl 2026, Supergirl 1984, Catwoman, Captain Marvel, Birds of Prey, The Marvels, Black Widow, and Elektra. And then he shares his list. From the bottom was Catwoman, then Supergirl 1984, then Elektra, Black Widow, The Marvels, Wonder Woman 1984, Captain Marvel, Birds of Prey, Supergirl 2026, and Wonder Woman. Follow-up question, does it feel like female-led superhero movies genuinely struggle to find success more than their male counterparts? If you so, do you think it's a case of studio mismanagement, online backlash, or just the unpredictable nature of the box office? Keep up the awesome work. Can't wait for the next episode. Best, Ron. Oh, and this is fun. It says, as a side note, if Jamie was your Dick Grayson, now retired Nightwing, does that make Brendan your Jason Todd? Joe kind of feels like Tim Drake. He steps in when he's called upon, and that leaves baby Andy to become your Damien. I hope he's just as snarky. Well, he's certainly as demanding right now, because now that he's starting to talk, brother knows what he wants, and he's not afraid to tell us. But there you go, Joe. Look at you. You made it in the lineup. You got to be Tim Drake.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. That was Brent, right?
No, this is from Ron.
Oh, Ron. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right. Well, so ranking these movies. Oh man.
So I got what do we got? Catwoman, Wonder Woman, 1984.
Yeah, both Wonder Woman movies, both Supergirl movies, Catwoman, both Captain Marvel movies. Birds of Prey, Black Widow, and Elektra.
Captain Marvel. I gotta write these down. I can't remember all this.
I know, right? Like that's.
What do I got? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Both Supergirls. What am I missing here? Oh, both Marvels. So Captain Marvel, The Marvels, Catwoman, Wonder Woman, Birds of Prey, Elektra. What am I missing?
I don't know.
I'm missing one. I got Catwoman, Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman 1984, Birds of Prey, The Marvels, Supergirl, Captain Marvel, Elektra.
Wonder Woman 94, Supergirl 26, Supergirl 84, Catwoman, Captain Marvel, Birds of Prey, The Marvels, Black Widow. Did you have
Black Widow?
Black Widow?
Was the last one. Okay. All right. You want to go first, or you want me to go?
You can go first because I'm writing mine down. Because same, I feel like I'm messing it up.
All right. Well, bottom for me, I'm gonna go Catwoman at the bottom. I'm gonna go bottom to top because I think that's easier for me. So we'll go Catwoman, Elektra, Supergirl, then the Marvels, then Captain Marvel, then Black Widow, then Supergirl 26, then Birds of Prey, and then the 2 Wonder Womans. There you go.
All right. All right.
I think it's DC favorite. I'm sorry, but
I know.
Listen, Wonder Woman 1984. That movie gets way too much crap. I'm sorry. If that movie...
Dude, okay. Tell me yours again. Oh man,
I gotta go. All right, so
I thought you wrote it down. I'm writing it down as we're doing this.
Right,
Ron, you're making us write things down.
I didn't put them in order. I just said them how they were. So I got Catwoman at the bottom.
Okay.
Then, if you can write this down as I'm doing it, so Catwoman, Elektra.
Okay.
Then, did I do Supergirl next? Yeah, Supergirl next.
84?
84, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I have the Marvels, then Captain Marvel. And then Black Widow. And then I have the DC movies next, right? Then I have Birds of Prey, 84, Wonder Woman. Is that all of them? Oh, I'm sorry. Supergirl is under Birds of Prey.
Supergirl.
I forgot Black Widow.
Which Supergirl?
26.
Okay. So then you've got Supergirl,
so Black Widow
Birds
is
of Prey.
Right now, I would put Black Widow right under Supergirl 26.
Okay. Got it. Okay. We're pretty close, but then you had to mess it up. But we're pretty close. Okay.
I'm sure you have Supergirl 84 a little higher. Or 80. What is that? 86?
84. Yeah, 84. All right. So we're number 10, Catwoman. We're agreed. Number 9, Elektra. We're agreed.
Same. Yeah.
You had Supergirl 84 at number 8. I'm putting the Marvels, but this is a bit of a lie because I've still never seen it.
Yeah, and honestly, it's like splitting hairs. I've seen it once and I could not tell you anything about it.
Yeah, so I still haven't watched it, so I'm putting it number 8 just because I don't know. I've got to put it somewhere.
Yeah.
So then the Marvels. Then I have Black Widow. Then I have Captain Marvel.
Okay.
So what is that? Captain Marvel at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. So number 5, Supergirl 1984.
And then they're probably the same after that, right?
Except, I have Supergirl 26 over Birds of Prey.
Yeah, honestly, that's a hard one for me.
Yeah.
Because I've only seen it the one time, and I have a weird soft spot with Birds of Prey. But again, they're very close.
It's a tough call, but I gave Supergirl a slight edge. Maybe it's recency bias, but I have Birds of Prey number 4, Supergirl 2026 number 3, number 2, Wonder Woman 1984, and then number 1, obviously Wonder Woman. Number 1's the easiest. Number 10 is the easiest.
We might be the only people in the world that have Wonder Woman 1984 too, but I could watch that movie all the time. I don't know why everyone hates on that movie so much.
It is. Yeah, that's one of those that, like, listen, again, it ain't perfect, but it is also not the travesty that fans pretend it is. There is a lot of good stuff in that movie. I just rewatched it.
It's the sequel to one of the best female superhero movies ever. Yeah.
It's one of the best superhero movies ever, Wonder Woman. Yeah. And Wonder Woman 1984 is a good superhero movie. I love it, even though, again, I certainly know that it's flawed. But yeah, it goes back to my old thing. It's like, it's a little flawed, so it obviously must be one of the worst movies ever made. Which speaks to Ron's bigger point, and I think that Ron makes a very valid point, and I do think it's true, as much as I don't want it to be true, is that, do I think female-led superhero movies are judged harsher? Yes, I do.
And I don't want to admit that, but it's kind of hard to even debate that.
It's hard not to admit it. Exactly.
Yeah, 'cause we all joke about what you just said. Is if it's not the worst, it's the best. But I feel like with female superhero movies, it is amplified to an 11.
Yep. I mean,
So,
let's rewind the clock. Let's rewind the clock 3 weeks, shall we?
Yeah. But
And Supergirl. Yeah.
I think Wonder Woman 1984 is the best example because I don't see how anyone could watch that movie and say it's one of the worst movies ever made. And that's what people said.
Yep. Yeah, I think that a female-led superhero movie has to be twice as good to get half the credit as another. And whether that's conscious or not, and as much as I don't want that to be true, because again, like for years, especially like, leading up to the release of Wonder Woman, people were like, well, female-led superhero movies don't work. And everybody's like, that's not true. Just because they made a couple crappy ones doesn't mean they can't work.
Yeah.
And I want that to be true, is that it was all, just based on the quality of the movie. But no, they are judged way harsher. Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel 1 are the exceptions. They're the only two true hit movies on this list.
Yeah. And I would actually use Captain Marvel as the example of, have you ever met someone that said Captain Marvel, other than I'm assuming me and you, that Captain Marvel is just fine? People either say that movie's awesome or they say it's terrible. Like, I really don't hear a lot of people talk about that movie and just be like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. 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 No, I do think that, again, whether it's subconscious, or not, but yeah, I mean, look at Birds of Prey. I like that movie a lot too. I agree with you. I like it a lot. There's a lot to like there, but I think that, there was a lot of fragile male egos who, felt attacked by it. And so they hated it.
And it's sad because it makes you almost angry when a superhero movie comes out, female led, that is just fine, where you're like, why couldn't you just knock it out of the park? And people got to realize it's not as easy to make these movies as we make it out to be sometimes. We're like, what were they thinking?
Yep.
Guys, a lot goes into these movies. If it was that easy, everyone would be a hit.
Right.
Nobody, you say it all the time, nobody sits out to make a bad movie.
Yeah. So, no, I mean, again, I hate that it's true, but I do think it's true. I think that they're judged more harshly than their counterparts. And again, we saw that just recently with Supergirl, which is a movie that was totally fine, good even, but nope, it sure got raked across the coals.
That was a great question.
All right, next message from Dill Dietz. It says, hey, Holy BatCasters, I liked Supergirl. It was fun, but I think Supergirl is the perfect example of what superhero fatigue actually is. Here's a movie that's competent. The acting's good, the effects are good, the action is great, but the plot boils down to a reluctant hero hunting down a doohickey to stop a thing. There's not much more to it. Marvel was putting out movies like this 10 to 15 years ago and raking in $700 million and more on a regular basis. In fact, this is the exact type of movie general audiences were demanding from DC during the DCEU era. While this is enough for the fans like ourselves, the general audience has moved on and they want something deeper from their superhero flicks. It's the reason that Marvel can't get a film off the ground much these days, either outside of their most emotionally driven character, Spider-Man. They stuck to a formula that's no longer working. I don't think it's a coincidence that Superman's most viral moment wasn't an action set piece, but that kindness is the real punk rock. The moral contrast between Superman, Lois, and Lex's versions of morality was the heart of the film and stuck with the general moviegoer. Unfortunately, while Supergirl does have an emotional arc, it plays more like the B story instead of driving the plot. What the internet is dubbing superhero fatigue, I think, is just general fatigue or generic fatigue. Love to hear what you guys would think. Thanks for keeping up the best DC pod around through both the good and bad times. Thanks. Thanks, Dill. All right. Well, interesting take on Supergirl. What do you think, Joe? Do you think that it was too generic and that is why it didn't catch on?
I do think that is a part of it. I do think it, it kind of goes to the last question with the, the female-led generic superhero movie is going to be amplified. Because I don't think, and I'm sorry if this is blasphemous, I don't think quality-wise it was that much below Superman. As far as filmmaking and all that kind of stuff, I think Superman is obviously a more popular character. I think the villain was better. I think obviously Superman was a better movie, but was it this, you know, it wasn't like a fumble as bad as everyone made it out to be as far as a film goes. But yes, I think right now, if something isn't above mediocrity, we're at the point where it's dismissed. And it could go back to what we were talking about with the female-led stuff, sure. But I do think people are expecting more from these movies, and it's sad because, like he mentioned, the MCU used to get away with this.
Mm-hmm.
We have never gotten the advantage.
And we were just talking about Captain Marvel, right? Like,
yeah, like
it's the quintessential. It was fine, right?
yeah, it was fine. $1 billion.
Yeah.
And I hate when people are like, "Oh, well, Marvel earned that." I don't think that's fair. I think it was just the right time. And unfortunately, as DC fans, we have always been at the wrong time.
Mm.
Every one of our movies that failed, we could say it just came out at the wrong time. It was before its time. It was at the, like it's just, I don't know. We always find a way to stumble, it seems. But
we can't win.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is a lot to the the fatigue conversation. I don't think it's as simple as superhero fatigue. I think he is right. I think people are demanding more of movies in general now. We're getting a lot more movies that are expected to make blockbuster money than we've ever gotten. Is that wrong to say?
No, I think that's fair.
Like, when you guys do your summer preview on the Real Fan Show, I listen and I'm like, there's no way all these movies can make this much money. But when you look at the budget,
I know.
And that's not a critique of you guys.
No, I know.
But I'm like, some of these are going to flop because people don't have this much money to go see all these movies. And I feel like back in the day, we used to get like maybe a blockbuster every 2 or 3 months, where now we're getting blockbusters. I mean, what was it? Toy Story 5 came out, 2 weeks after Supergirl? And then you get Moana is actually stepping on the toes of Toy Story. Like, Disney is even putting out movies to fight themselves to an extent. And
yeah.
Granted, I'm not going to say Moana is at the same quality as Toy Story 5, but there was never a time where Disney would release 2 blockbusters within 3 weeks of each other.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to go into this, and I do think with the fatigue factor, I've admitted this to you. I have almost a shared universe fatigue going on for myself because I'm kind of to the point of like, oh, here we go, another one that I don't know if I care that much or how is it going to tie into this. If it fails, then we got to listen to it. For me, it's more the social media crap where it's like, if this movie fails, I just don't want to hear about it again because one failure now means the whole universe is going to fail.
I mean, opening weekend of Supergirl, people are like, is James Gunn getting fired? It's like, what? No.
And everyone is the Monday morning quarterback
yeah.
right as this is happening, and it's just annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand the point that Dill is making, and I understand what you're saying. But I don't know if I would call Supergirl generic. I don't know if that is the correct term.
It's an oversimplification of it.
Yeah. Because it's not generic. I think that they were trying, and I talked about this a little bit, I think on the review episode, is like they were trying to not do that. They were trying to not just make it exactly like Superman, but with Supergirl, because then they would probably have gotten criticized for, well, then why, it just feels like more of the same, right? And so I think that they were trying to separate it from Superman to make it its own thing by setting it off-world, making it alien, making it intergalactic, like we were talking about with Lanterns. Like, so I think they made conscious decisions of what story they wanted to tell to make it feel like its own thing. So I get the rationale. But I think that, the greater point is that, they made a movie that was just good. And they did fail in marketing that movie and making people feel like it was a must see, that it was worth their theater dollars. And I think that's more the issue, right? Last summer, Superman did feel like an event. This year, Supergirl did not. And I don't know if it was just the trailers. I mean, Supergirl's a tougher sell than Superman because she's Supergirl, right? So it's a tougher sell, and especially in this current landscape because, superhero movies are going through a bumpy patch, and the only thing you can't count on is a Spider-Man. And I don't think it's because he's emotionally complex. It's because he's Spider-Man. That's literally all that matters.
I agree.
And frankly, probably Batman. But even the Batman, even though it made money, like it, didn't make the money that previous Batman movies did. So it's just, we're in a rough patch for superhero movies in general. And so I do understand the point of like, these have to feel like must-sees, and being the next superhero movie is not enough anymore. And I think that in the heyday of the MCU and even the DCEU, I mean, we lived in a world where a Suicide Squad movie opened at $130 million. That's insane when you think about that in context. But that's how it was 10 years ago. And we're not in that place anymore.
Wonder Woman made almost $1 billion.
Yeah.
Batman vs Superman doesn't make $1 billion, and it was considered a failure. We're now like we're killing for that,
Yeah. You said, and like you said for lanterns, but it's true here with the box office. The goalpost has changed.
Oh yeah.
For what's a successful superhero movie,
and that's where I think Lanterns is gonna succeed because there's no box office.
Yeah,
that can't be a conversation, which is nice for
right.
a fan. And like, yeah, there again, we can have full episodes on some of these questions because it is such a hard thing to try to wrap our head around. And even with Spider-Man, listen, the name Spider-Man and the trailers will get you people in the seats opening night.
Yeah.
But if the movie's not great, it's not going to carry it to the $1 billion easy anymore. And listen, all signs are pointing to Brand New Day being awesome, and I'm pumped for it. I got tickets for Wednesday. I'm excited for it. If the movie's not good, though, we're not getting to that point anymore. It's just everything is so different now than it was where, like you said, Suicide Squad making that much money was such a huge thing, and yet people still shit on that movie.
I know. For a movie that was that maligned, it made so much freaking money. It's crazy.
Like nowadays, would that movie make $200 million? That's what's so hard to wrap our heads around anymore.
Yeah.
It's just such a different world.
Right. All right, we got to move forward. The next one is from our pal Josh Green. It says, "Greetings, Holy BatCast. Now that we're 2 or 3 years into Chapter 1 of the DCU, I've been thinking about the future and what could be coming after Man of Tomorrow. I'm not sure if you saw the interview that Peter Safran did with the playlist, but here is his quote about the future of Supergirl. Without giving too much away, this movie ends a particular way, and you see where she's going to end up. She's done her wild ways, and now she's going to try to get back in with her cousin and be more on Earth again. That's where she is in Man of Tomorrow. It's all more Earth-based, so we have Man of Tomorrow, and we already know what the next movie is going to be after that, and she's a big part of that. Safran said of the future of Alcock beyond these two confirmed movies. My initial thoughts were that Supergirl could pop up in a Wonder Woman movie that Anna Nagara is writing. What do you guys think about that?" Thanks, Josh. Thanks for sending in. Hope you're doing great. And I did not see this quote. So what's interesting is, like, of course they know what the next movie is going to be after Man of Tomorrow. Of course they do. We don't know. But that Supergirl is included in that is very interesting. So what do you think, Joe?
I did not hear this. I would be very intrigued by a Wonder Woman / Supergirl movie, or could you somehow do I'm trying to remember now. Is it Supergirl and Huntress is world's finest in the comics? What is that? I know Supergirl is teamed up with Batgirl, but I want to say there's a Supergirl Huntress comic too.
I mean, maybe.
Either way, I mean, I will take more of Supergirl. Again, everything now makes me apprehensive, especially with a sequel to a quote unquote failed movie, because I just feel like we live in a landscape where it's going to be doomed to fail regardless, unless you put something else in that movie to get people on board without it being slandered prior to even seeing a trailer. It's so hard to be positive anymore with the it's easy for me to be positive about the quality of movies. Like I get excited, but it's hard to be positive about the surrounding stigma of these movies when
Yeah.
they're already starting off with a negative just because.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hear you. This is an interesting theory, and I like where your head's at, Josh, as far as, I forgot that Anna Nagura is writing Wonder Woman, or did we know that? Or is that just speculation? I've lost track. But I forgot about that. But, there's still rumors / hope that Wonder Woman will pop up in Man of Tomorrow, and I think that would be awesome. I'm all for it. Because like I said in the last few episodes, let's get the Trinity on the board. And so if they can introduce Wonder Woman in Man of Tomorrow and that leads to another film, I could certainly see Supergirl ending up in that film one way or another. Because it's not going to be another Superman movie. They're not going to follow up Man of Tomorrow with another Superman. So it's got to be some other shared universe movie where it would make sense for Supergirl to appear. So I think your theory is good as any. I can't think of any better at the moment. So I'm good with yours.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind getting a Superman trilogy if that's the case.
I mean, same, but not,
not directly after.
Not immediately. Like,
we're going to mix
it up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Next message here is from Weston Craig. It says, "Hey guys, like a lot of people who listen to the show, I have read a lot of DC Comics. I've never been a fan of Lobo in almost any medium, comics, cartoons, etc. The biggest surprise to me was how much I enjoyed Lobo in Supergirl. He was probably my favorite part. There are a lot of Monday morning quarterbacks right now, but it got me thinking about the story in Supergirl / Woman of Tomorrow. I wonder if Ruthie's story could have been fun, teaming up with Lobo to travel across the universe, hunting down, it says Karen, but I think he meant Krem. Hunting down Krem. Yeah.
I know that all too well.
Yeah, rather than with Kara. Hear me out. Lobo is an intergalactic bounty hunter. It would have been pretty funny seeing Lobo try to corrupt this girl and encourage her to get revenge. I'm thinking about the scene where Lobo's excited about Ruthie resisting in prison. Could have been like a reverse Mandalorian story where the gruff guy is making the child worse rather than the child bringing out the soft side of the renegade. Now, I'm not saying that this movie would have performed better financially, since it would definitely have been niche. It would definitely not be what I choose as the second movie of the DCU. I'm just thinking thematically, the story might weirdly fit Lobo better than it does Supergirl. Thoughts? Weston. Thanks, Weston. What do you think, Joe? Do you think Lobo and Ruthie would have made a more compelling movie than Supergirl?
I think it sounds fun, but I think that would be more for like an HBO Max show than I would do a movie. I will say I don't know. I have a problem with, and he's not wrong for saying this, but it's been said a lot where it's like the whole idea of Supergirl, the Supergirl movie was the wrong choice for the second movie of a shared universe. I don't understand why that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how you feel about that, but I just feel like that's where I get annoyed with the whole shared universe aspect. Why can't we just have a movie that's a movie anymore?
Yeah.
And that's what they were trying to do, was just put out a movie for Supergirl, and that's it. We as the audience are now putting this onus on it of, oh, it's the second movie of a shared universe, it should be something more or something different. It's like, why? Like, I don't know. That's the part that kind of bugs me with this kind of stuff. But other than that, it's a fun idea. I'm not a Lobo fan either, so I'm with him. I think he was the perfect amount in this. I don't know if I'd want to see a full movie of him with.
Yeah.
That would be like a fun, like, second act of this movie, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I can't fully get on board with this because I really liked Kara and Ruthie's relationship, and I liked Kara as the reluctant hero. So I liked that. But I think there's something to be said for, like, what if Kara and Lobo were like the angel and devil on Ruthie's shoulders?
Yeah.
So Kara is the one who's trying to be like, no, revenge isn't the answer. And Lobo's the one like, yes, it is. And I think there could have been something fun to explore there if they had wanted more Lobo. But I agree with Joe. I was happy with the amount of Lobo we got in the movie.
That would be a fun like animated short series, like they did the Crypto series. Like do like a little animated shorts of Lobo's adventures with Ruthie afterwards.
Yeah, yeah. All right, next email is from James. It says, "Hey, Holy BatCast crew, just saw that Zolo is coming back as Blue Beetle in Man of Tomorrow. I'm so stoked about the news. It's a shame that Blue Beetle wasn't a critical and financial success because I loved that movie and I thought it deserved more. I'm only worried a little bit with this movie getting way too crowded with so many heroes. But I can see this being as a great way to introduce Jaime Reyes to the DCU as maybe a soft reboot or relaunch of the character. Lastly, I know that Alan Ritchson said he's not playing Batman, unfortunately, but I could see him as Booster Gold. He has the size and comedic chops to play that kind of character. Well, thanks so much. Hope you guys have a great day. And P.S., and this was obviously before Comic-Con, he says, I saw that you were coming to Comic-Con. That's so cool. Congrats. Being from the city, I love seeing the downtown area transform for the convention. I was bummed to see that you're only going to go on Saturday, and I was hoping to run into you. Anyway, sorry for the long email. Have a great day, James. Thanks, James. I hope you had a great time at Comic-Con as well. So I guess no real questions, just you're psyched for the return of Blue Beetle. So am I. If you listen to the last email, I am so happy about that. Are you happy about that, Joe?
Oh yeah, again another underrated movie in the DC universe. We got lucky. We got so many that, you know, box office aside, I love most of them, and that is one that I'm excited for the anticipation that maybe that movie could just kind of fit right in retroactively because there's not much
It
tying
could.
into the old DCU.
It absolutely could. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, not to beat a dead horse with this whole universe sharing thing that I've been going on this whole day, but again, another one of those things where, the universe is ending. Who cares to go see this movie? When did that happen? Why can't we just go watch a movie? You know, I wish that movie got some love. The whole fact of every movie that came out that year was doomed because people didn't want to see a universe dying. It's like, why can't you just go watch a fun movie? And that movie was a great time.
Yep. Well, and I will push back slightly on James's claim that it was not a critical it certainly wasn't a financial success. I will agree to that, but it has 78% on Rotten Tomatoes and the user score was 90%. So the people who did see Blue Beetle liked Blue Beetle. Do you know why? Because Blue Beetle rocks. Such a good movie. And so I'm with you. I'm so glad that he gets to be a part of this universe. And yeah, I hope we get to see more of him to come. And as for Alan Ritchson as Booster Gold, sure, why not? I like Alan Ritchson a lot. And so, yeah, if we can get more of him in the DC universe, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm good with anything for Alan Ritchson.
All right. Next email. Oh, it's our old pal Stort from Guernsey. Hi, Stort. He says, I'm going to keep this question short. Which DC project are you now looking forward to the most over the next few months? Cape Crusader Season 2, Lanterns, Knightfall, or Clayface? For me, it has to be Clayface, mostly out of curiosity and to actually see the first full-on horror DC movie. The bonus is it gets to be part of Scare-a-thon. Hope you guys are doing well, and I hope that you guys enjoyed your honeymoon. Thanks, Stuart. That's a tough question. Of Cape Crusader, Lanterns, Knightfall, or Clayface, what are you most excited about?
Me, honestly, it's Lanterns. And not just because it's like one of the next things. I mean, Cape Crusader is a little sooner than that, but it is Lanterns because I just don't know exactly what the show is going to be. And I'm a huge Green Lantern fan. So I'm rooting for this show so much. And I just want to enjoy any bit of Lantern lore that we're going to get with this show. And the quality looks great. So and it's a weekly thing, which is so much fun. I like the weekly model with the HBO Max shows or the HBO shows. So I'm really anticipating that. Every Sunday night getting more Lantern. It's a fun time.
Yeah. Well, the first thing I'll say is all four of these choices are the correct answer because you could make a case for any of them. And I would be like, yeah, I get it. So
I just realized I picked the one that's not Batman related.
Yeah, so you're kicked off. You're out of here. You're fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, you can make a case for any of it. And the fact that we're getting all of these over the next couple months is pretty awesome. So yay. I think if I had to choose, which is very tough, I think I'm also going to say Clayface. because it's so different. It's so unique. It's still Batman adjacent. It's part of the DCU. So yeah, I think I would pick that, but I'm psyched for all four. All right, maybe let's do one more, and then that means we're still leaving more mail in the mailbox. But hey, guess what? I gotta go give the kids a bath. This is from Tom Fallows. It says, "Hey guys, I'm not going to be one of the many people asking about the Batman Part 2. However, I was struck by Andy's comment that after 6 years, I said this. I said this online." But he's quoting me. But he said, "I was struck by Andy's comment that after 6 years, they still haven't changed the shitty suit or the shittier car."
I didn't even see that comment.
I said that. I'm sorry. It's true. Someone's going to get mad. And it says, "I know how you both haven't liked the aesthetic of the movie, but if you had to make a choice, what would you prefer? A realistic armored bat suit, but in the comic accurate colors like gray and black, or a more comic accurate spandex suit, but it's all black. Anyway, keep counting down to 2028, Tom Fallows." Thanks, Tom. Oh man, calling me out. I said it in the Real Fans group. I was like, man, you had 6 years. I mean, I guess again, the ears, I guess, were 1 millimeter larger. So I guess that's pretty awesome, huh?
Listen, we were all mad that day. We were very cranky and sassy that day.
Yeah, we were all sassy. It was fun.
Even I got sassy that day.
I love it. You and Eric got sassy, and I was here for it. I loved it.
Me and Eric are probably two of the biggest defenders of that movie, and it's like, all right, enough's enough. At some point, like, come on, man, we can only defend it so much.
Yeah, F this. Okay, well, first of all, I've got to clarify my comments about the suit. I don't mind that it is armored. Every bat suit has been armored since 1989. They've all been armored. I don't like that it looks like clunky armor that you can't move in. That's, you can have streamlined armor. So yeah, like realistically speaking, it's still a movie. I would expect Batman to have some protection built into his suit. I just don't like how clunky and chunky the Pattinson suit is. So my answer would be, I'm fine with an armored suit as long as it is sleeker and looks better. And then gray and black. Yeah, of course. Like I don't want someone to wear spandex in 2026. That doesn't work. So yeah, a armored bat suit, but redesigned. So it looks like you can move in it and it just looks sleeker. And then you can still do gray and black. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I interpreted his question like, does he think like, is he saying Batfleck is like quote unquote spandex-esque? I don't know. Where it's more form fitting, and like if that was all black,
maybe, I don't know. Like spandex is like literal spandex. It's just cloth, right? It's
like Spider-Man. Like I don't want Batman in a Spider-Man suit.
Yeah, but like honestly, like what they make. Look at the Titan suits, right? Like, like that material, it's not armor, but it ain't spandex. It just feels a little more Yeah, right?
We barely see that bat suit, but it looks like a Batman.
Or like, like the Captain America suit in the MCU, right? Like, something that looks like it offers protection, but also looks cool.
Yeah, I would prefer that than an all black spandex suit. I actually thought his question was going to be, would you rather armor Batman in a cool Batmobile or the same Batmobile in a cool suit? That's what I thought his question was.
That's a good question too. I know the answer. I hate the car more than I hate the suit. So yeah. I could accept the suit if he had a better car. Because here's the thing. In some shots, the suit does look good. I will admit it. Stop writing your angry emails. In some shots, the suit looks good. But in other shots, it doesn't. Yeah. So it shouldn't be a toss-up. The suit should always look cool.
And I'm so torn on the suit because I love certain aspects of the suit. Like I like the collar. The collar is one of my favorite aspects of the suit. I think that is a really cool way to do something different with the silhouette and the way he can turn his head, but also not not the same as like the Dark Knight. So I like that aspect of it. I think the cowl is weird looking. I don't even mind like the chest piece, but like again, it's bulky, it's weird. I think it would look weird if it was blue and gray. Like some of the people are like, "Oh, just change that to be blue and gray." I think it's too bulky to look blue and
Not
gray.
that suit. No,
Yeah.
not that suit.
So I don't know. Again, I don't need a total revamp. I just want it streamlined a little bit.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, what a note to go out on. Again, I've got a lot of emails waiting. We're gonna have to get to them next time. It's worth noting next weekend, Cape Crusader comes out, but I am going out of town for the weekend, so I don't think there'll be a new episode next week. We'll just have to catch up on Cape Crusader the following week. So that means next week I'll probably try to drop a video on the YouTube channel. That's what I'm trying to do when there's a week without a new episode. You know, doing my best. So keep an eye on that and then hang out. It gives you a whole week to watch Cape Crusader. And then when we get back, we'll at least review the first episode or two of that and then finally answer the rest of the emails that are sitting here waiting. But anyway, Joe, always a pleasure. Thank you. Appreciate your time. Always great to talk and catch up, vocally as opposed to just typing to each other.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Sometimes it is fun to touch on the news, and Comic-Con is always a fun conversation. It's been, I haven't had a chance to talk about Comic-Con in a long time, and we had some good, the panel was a little unconventional, but it was still a lot of fun content and a lot of, and a lot of good questions to answer here. So this was a lot of fun.
Well, always a pleasure. So the folks at home want to catch you talking about, not Batman. Where can they listen to you?
Yeah, to much to Andy's chagrin, we have expanded to other non-Batman stuff with our podcast. The Fire Rises. I do that with Eric Carter. Eric is the one that runs the show. But yeah, we're gonna probably cover Spider-Man this weekend, which obviously Andy loves because that's where our show has gone now recently.
It used to be called The Fire Rises, a Batman podcast.
Yeah, and now it's just The Fire Rises.
The Fire Rises, not a Batman podcast.
Well, the ironic part is it's because there was not a lot of Batman talk, and now we switch, and there is Batman talk coming galore right now, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so if you want to listen to some Spider-Man talk in the next couple of weeks, we'll be there doing that. But we'll touch on Lanterns. We're going to talk about Cape Crusader. We're excited about all that stuff. But yeah, so we'll be over there talking about God knows what, and then you can find me on X, Instagram, and Letterboxd as JForn11, and on Facebook as Joe Fornarotto, FORNAROTTO.
And to be honest, I am not bitter about you guys changing the format of your show. Do you know why?
Because you already have a Batman show.
It means I outlasted another one. I'm just over here still doing it, and these Batman shows come up, they pop up, then they disappear, and I'm still over here just getting older, doing my thing.
It's just because we had no desire to do news stuff, and you do that, and we're here for that, and it just became too monotonous doing the same stuff over and over again for us, and we love listening to your show, and it was like we have all this other stuff we wanted to talk about. It really wasn't like a planned thing either. It just kind of happened because we weren't feeling it anymore. So, and then I get to come on here and talk about stuff that we don't talk about. So it's fun.
Well, see, that is nice too, and I'm giving you guys crap, but I love you guys. But the bonuses, right? I've got 2 more people on the bench for when Brendan's busy or whatever.
Yeah.
I love it. Glad you could be here. And in all seriousness, check out the Fire Rises. I love those guys. As always, thanks for joining us here at Holy BatCast. We appreciate you. Please do follow or subscribe. If you like the show, something you can do to support us, doesn't cost a penny, is just leave a nice review. Would love that. That would be awesome, and it would make me feel good. Again, find the show on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Search for Holy BatCast. If you've got something for the Wayne Manor Mailbox, if you are determined to never let me empty the Wayne Manor Mailbox, you can send those emails to holybatcast@rf4rm.com. If you're listening and you're like, you still haven't read my email, I know, embarrassment of riches. So send those emails, and eventually I will get around to reading them on the show. Our theme music was created by the talented Gaurav Venkateswar. You can find his work at gvtunes.com. And that will do it. Thank you for joining us. On behalf of Joe, I've been Andy. We'll see you next time. Same bat time, same bat channel. Holy BatCast is not affiliated with Warner Brothers or DC Entertainment. The views and opinions shared by the participants are theirs and theirs alone and do not represent the companies or organizations they happen to work for.
You know, ironically, Noir is probably closer to Batman Detective than the Batman.
Oh, well then maybe I should watch it.
It's actually like that's what Batman being a detective should be like. It was good.
Oh, does he actually solve stuff and make bad things not happen?
He does.
Oh, look at him go! All right.